In the middle of October, the sanctuary of Little Rann receives new visitors, the Dbari Indians. This semi-nomadic tribe has about 250,000 members. At this time of year, the Dbaris form groups of between 5 and 15 families, load up their belongings and move to the territories in the south in search of pasture for their cattle. Both the Dbari and the Vaishnava, another ethnic group in the area, respect the local wildlife, and this has been fundamental in the survival of the asses, antelopes and nilgais of the region. Apart from their cattle, the principal source of income for these people is cotton. They use this material to make their own clothes. The enormous farms need a large workforce during harvest time, and the landowners employ the Dbari, both men and women, to do this hard work. The movement of cattle is an increasingly complicated matter. In the past, the farmers would allow them to cross over their land and the cattle would fertilize the soil. But now landowners are less welcoming and at times even hostile. The traditional routes are no longer viable and the new ones are dangerous. The Dbari have had to adapt to these adverse conditions, and they now combine cattle rearing with work in the fields. The work is exhausting and often goes on until nightfall. When darkness falls, the life of the Dbari is transformed. With a good fire, food, music and high spirits, the quiet night becomes a celebration. And so they put behind them the rigors of the day. Men and women dance around the fire. The Dbari women are respected and treated as equals. They do not cover their faces and go unaccompanied around the villages and towns. They are in charge of the camels that carry their belongings on the annual migrations. They like to dress smartly in brightly colored dresses, a great deal of jewelry and tattoos on their bodies. They also consume a considerable amount of snuff. The Dbari have also unwittingly played a part in the reduction in the number of wild asses. The transmission of diseases from domesticated animals is one of the main causes of mortality, along with the degradation of the natural habitat due to the commercialization of the salt from the desert. Watching them gallop, we get an idea of just how well adapted these animals are. Their ability to resist dehydration means that even in the burning sun, they can run for 20 minutes at speeds of up to 70 kilometers an hour. Even foals of just a few months can run for 30 minutes at 40 kilometers an hour. The Blackbuck Antelopes are even better runners and can reach speeds of up to 96 kilometers an hour. The Dbari present no threat, but unfortunately this is the exception to the rule. Once considered Krishna's favorite antelope, they are now killed to make table legs and decorative lamps. in contrast to the Vishnoi who believe them to be sacred and sacrosanct. For the majority of people, they are simply a source of income for their precarious economy. In the past, there were as many as 4 million blackbuck antelopes, but the numbers have now fallen to less than 25,000, and their future seems uncertain. The desert, a symbol of death and desolation, has paradoxically become a refuge for the nilgai, the blackbuck antelope and the wild ass. Precisely because this land is of little value to men, it is the only safe place left. India is a country of contrasts, myths and legends. Since time immemorial, she has fed the imagination of dreamers and enchanted all those who know her. And once more she has surprised us. These lands of little value to men are a treasure of nature, and drought and scorching heat have here in Little Rann become a synonym of life.